Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Survive the Wild playthrough. In this playthrough we will discover everything the game has to offer, from navigation to crafting to hunting, and then we will probably leave it at that. The reason I say this is because I'm not gonna reveal everything there is to know, because you will have to discover. That's part of survival after all. Note that this game is still in beta phase. This means that some features will either not work or will work slightly differently, or will have changed completely by the time this game releases, as is usually the case with beta. Also keep in mind that this video series is more or less aimed at beginning people, not so much at people who are already familiar with the game, unless those people want to enjoy a refresh of some sorts, or want to hunt for information they didn't have, like for instance what clothing can do or similar things. Enough said. We will also be playing this game from the total beginning, which means that there should be also a dialogue with some rules and regulations in it. We are going to skip this for now, but that's not to say that we're gonna leave it untouched. We will discuss this in a separate video because the matter is too long and could take up valuable time for the playthrough. So we will do this discussion in a separate video, and we will not discuss the rules like reading them, but we will try to explain, I will at least, I'll try to explain more the reasoning behind the rules rather than just reading them out loud and have it done that way. Okay, so the settings are cleared and we can start with a clean sheet. So we will do so by opening the game directory where we actually have downloaded instead of installed, because that's also a new feature since the latest version. We will no longer ship setup files, but we will just use zip files. So we open stw.exe.
Survive the Wild 0.99.5.
There was a note, but the game version overrode that note, so we'll press down arrow to reread it.
Note: there are no settings set up yet. You can configure them in the options menu, which is highly recommended. For now, using defaults.
Okay.
Survive the Wild by Sam Tooby Productions.
Main menu, please select an option. Select audio app.
Okay, now we're in the main menu, and we can use the arrow keys to select an option. But before we start selecting any options, let's go through the menu and see what options we have.
Log into an existing account.
Log in with an existing account. That's quite explanatory. If you have an account, use this option. If you don't have one, use the following option, which is
Create a player account.
create a player account. This will open up a dialog where you can enter name, password, gender, and such, and then create your character, and we will do that in a bit. Options. Here you can configure things like the menu music, add or remove aliases, configure your speech output if you want to, enable and disable dreams and such, but that's something we will touch back on later.
Listen to the story.
Listen to the story. I highly suggest you do that when you have a bit of free time, because it's quite a long story and it sort of explains why you are on the island mainland, on the beach, and it gives you a bit of backstory about some certain features that were added in the game. Keep in mind that this story is at this point rather old, so it's not completely applicable anymore, but it's always fun to listen to. Test speakers. This is really useful for when you're wearing headphones and you want to make sure they're properly positioned. You are playing an audio game after all, and Having headphones badly positioned can have weird consequences.
Copy system identification string to clipboard.
Copy system identification string to clipboard. This is really useful when, for instance, you're not able to connect to the game and you get a message for being banned. And if you think that's in error, you can always send that system ID to any of the administrators, either on Skype or on Discord or wherever you can find them. And then they can use that system identification to check what's going on and fix the problem if it's fixable.
Exit the game.
And then exit the game. This will obviously just exit the game, but we're not here to exit. Let's first see if our headphones are properly adjusted by going to test speakers.
Hey, you know what, dude? I don't really like you being on the left, so you should get out of here! What? No. I forgot to tell him he was
Main menu. Please select the
Alright, so headphones are properly positioned, and so we can go ahead and press the home key to go to the top of the menu and create our character by going down one option, because the first one is login as an existing one.
Log into an existing account. Create a main account.
Okay, here we go.
Create character dialog. Enter the username for this new character. Recommended at least 3 characters. No spaces are allowed. Edit alt plus U. Blank.
Okay, so we can not have characters with less than 3 characters in the name. We cannot have any player account with that amount of characters. It's a bit confusing, characters and characters and characters. So, in short, you cannot create an account that has less than 3 characters in its name for obvious spam reasons. And you can also not use spaces, but we can use underscores. So we will create our channel name with underscores instead of spaces.
Capital M. Y. Underline. Capital V. Capital I. Underline. Capital S. E. L. F.
And then we press tab
Enter the password for this new character. No spaces are allowed. Edit characters. Hidden alt plus T. Blank.
to enter the password. And it says characters hidden, so you can actually enter passwords in safety and security because no one will know what they are. So let's enter a password.
Star. 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 Star.
It's a stupid password, but who cares? This is just a test account, so
Enter the password for this new character.
Then we
No
press
spaces are allowed. Edit characters. Hidden alt plus T. Blank.
tab again and enter the same password.
Star. 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 Star.
And then we press tab.
Please select the gender for this new character. List alt plus G.
Now we have to select the gender. Keep in mind that this is a one-time option only, so if you make a mistake, that's on you instead of on any admin. So make sure you pick the right one.
Male.
There is male and there is
Female.
female, but we definitely are male, so we go back
Male.
up and make sure that's selected. Then we press tab.
I certify that by creating this character, I am agreeing to the rules of Survive the Wild and understand that administrative action may be taken if any of the rules are not followed, regardless of whether they have been read or understood by me. Checkbox not checked alt pluser.
Yes, so here we have to indicate that we actually have read and understood and agree with the rules outlined in !rules.txt. Since that subject is really long, we will keep that for a separate video, as I said before. But for the ease of being able to play now, we'll just check this box and then continue with creating our character. Keep in mind that if you do not read the rules and you are caught breaking them, that's your responsibility, just as the game says. It is up to you to read them. It is up to you to ask some more information if you're not sure on what something means. Admins do not take responsibility for you not reading or not understanding the rules.
Checked.
Okay, so that's checked. Now we press
Create
tab
character button alt plus C.
and we can create a character. And we can even use the shortcut Alt-C. So let's try Alt-C.
Create character button alt plus C.
Oh, then it just goes to the button. Okay, that's fine too. We press enter and
Creating. Success. Your account is now ready to use. Please press enter to log into this character or escape to return to the main menu and log in at a later time.
there we go. So now that the character is created, we can press enter and log in automatically, or we can press escape if we want to go for a break or if we want to go for lunch or whatever. But let's press escape anyway, because by creating a character you'll discover that there's a new menu option. So let's find out.
Main menu. Please select an option.
And then press home to go to the top of the menu.
Login as my myself.
So now it says login as my VI self. And then if we go down,
Login with a different account.
you can still log in with a different account. So here you can quickly change from one player account to the other and then log in that way.
Login as my myself.
So let's log in with my VI self.
And logging in. You are out of date. Would you like to download new updates now so you can continue playing?
Oh, that's wonderful. So the game tells me I'm out of date. This can happen if there is a new bug fix or if there is a new client patch. And this is always recommended to download as soon as possible, because if you click no, you will just get back to the main menu and that's it.
Yes.
So we will click yes.
The update in progress. Please do not survive the wild.
Alright, let's see about it works now. My apologies for the sudden cutout. I had to cut off a part of the video because of some small issues, but hopefully we're back again.
To survive the wild. Messenger.
And there we
To
are.
survive the wild, leave the server. If you play out of Dropbox, turn off. Current location. Shoreline.
Okay, so we're at the shoreline, and this is just after we created our character. So first things first, let's quickly check our stats, being hunger, thirst, energy, and health, to see if there's anything we need to pay particular attention to, because if we don't, then, well, we might end up dying. So let's see. We press the S key for thirst.
185 thirst.
Ooh, rather on the high side, but still not bad. We press the U for hunger.
81 hunger.
That's quite okay, so we're good in that regard. Then we press the
997.
H for health, and that's almost full, so we're good.
896 energy.
And then the E for energy, and we're at 896, so that's all fine. Now that's that. Let's see what we can do next. I think we probably should go and get rid of that thirst. So, the best way we can do that is by going ahead and making some pots. We could actually open our survival pack and take a water bottle and stuff, but let's take the longer route, because that way we have something to do. So first of all, there is two ways of tracking things. There's first of all tracking tiles or surfaces, and then there is tracking items. Now we have to find clay to be able to complete some pots, so we need to track a surface. And let's see which ones we have here.
Look around menu. Please select the item with arrow keys and press enter to track.
We track surfaces by pressing the K key.
Short grass in front and very slightly to the right, about 24 tiles away.
Short grass, so we're fairly close to the grassy area of the mainland. That's fine.
Swell slightly in front and a fair distance off to the right, about 51 tiles away. Dirt slightly in front and a fair distance off to the right, about 43 tiles away. Dirt in front and very slightly to the right, about 25 tiles away.
Okay.
Cancelled.
So there is no clay nearby, so let's stick with unpacking our survival pack and drinking, because that's gonna be faster. But remember that we used the K key to track tiles. We'll need that to do some other stuff in the next episode. So, let's see. Action keys. There are 4 kinds of actions you can perform. There's an interact, which is combine one item from one hand with either your other hand or another item in your other hand. Then there's altinteract, which is an alternative interaction. This is, for example, used for removing stuff from skillets, taking something off spits, and there are some others, but not that many. That's alt-interacts, and interacts are more things like putting things in skillets, putting things on spits, unpacking items, opening bottles, closing bottles if you want to, and there's several more. Then there is use, which is like the same as using the item you're holding in your hand. For instance, if you have a whistle in your hand and you press the space bar to use, then you blow the whistle. If you have a bottle in your hand, you start drinking from it. If you have a cup with water in your hand, you start drinking that. And there's several more. And there is alternative use or alt use, which is pressing alt space. This is, for example, throwing a spear. Let's see if there's some more, but not that I can think of at the moment, so we'll leave it at that. Now, so a recap, interact is the T key, alt interact is alt T, and then use is space, and then alt use is alt space. Now, that being said, let's open up our inventory by pressing the I key.
Please select what you want to use. Entire inventory.
Entire inventory, we'll come back to that later because that's the name of our category, but that's not so important for now. That will be explained in the next episode. So the first item
survival pack. You have one.
Is our survival pack. We will need this because we will need our water bowl. So while we can press up and down to move between items, we can also press the left or the right arrow key to put the survival pack in one of our hands. Left for the left hand and right for the right hand. So we're picking the left hand this time. It really doesn't matter which one you pick as long as you have an empty hand in the other one. So for instance, if you put your survival pack left, your right hand has to be empty, otherwise you won't be able to open it. So we'll put it in our left hand with the left arrow key. Then we press escape to close. We press the 1 key on the number row to select our left hand. And it will always say the item that's in that hand, survival pack in this case. We press T.
You dig your fingers into the soft cardboard, grab the tape,
and
then you use some effort, manage to rip the flaps on the cardboard box open. What nice stuff. A knife for the watch, a radio for communication, string for many purposes, cups for liquid storage, rods or spits to steal food on and cook it hands-free, a small number of little devices used to start fires with very little effort, a couple packages of universal batteries for anything that needs power, a small revolver with a few bullets, a water bottle, some towels to keep dry, flares and matches for signaling and fire starting, a package of medical items, some glue to build things, several cups of cold soup for food, and last but not least, several dehydrated meal kits you can prepare for not the best tasting but very nourishing food.
And there we go. The survival pack unpacked. Normally there's a sound going with that, but since this is beta software, and I know I'm repeating myself, some things are not yet working, and this is one of them. So we heard that we have cups of soup. This is basically the alternative to protein bars, because every survival pack comes either with cups of soup or with protein bars. They are actually the same in value, so if you drink soup, your hunger goes down as much as you would eat the protein bars, so that's all good. Now, we heard we had a water bottle, so let's go and find that by opening the inventory with the I key.
Please select what you want to use. Entire inventory.
And to be quicker, we just press the W key to go to water bottle.
Wallet. You have one.
That's a wallet, that's not what we need.
Warm down slip on shoes. You have one.
That's our shoes, we don't need that for now.
Water bottle. You have one.
And that was our water bottle, so let's put that in a hand. Let's press escape. Let's select that.
Water bottle.
And press T to open.
You don't see any way to use those two items together. Right hand.
Oh.
Water bottle.
That's something that's broken then.
You don't see any way to use those two items.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay, we don't have water.
239 thirst.
We're still at 239 thirst, so this is probably a sign that we should stop this video and come back to this the next time, because this will require some fixing, but that's fine. So let's press escape to exit, and then press escape again to close the menu. And then let's close out this video, but not before asking you to all subscribe, to like or dislike, to share with family friends, and to follow on Twitter. The link will be down in the description, as well as the link for the entire playlist of this playthrough. which we'll be adding episodes to later on. And that's about it. So see you guys the next time.